All right, I ran into a little problem. I didn't notice it at first, but let's see if I can shine a light there. Yeah, that doesn't help. But you can see this here is pretty rough, and there's no honing that's going to take that out. So really, that cylinder should probably be, or well, they all should be bored out to clean that up. The ridge is cut nice, but this cylinder here I noticed was also, there's a valve here which is pretty rusty around the seat, but that will clean up, I believe. And so I think some water might have got down in this cylinder. You can't really see it good with this LED flashlight because it's probably blinking on the video. So anyway, I did receive the piston wrist pin bushings today, and I had to go on the hunt for oversized pistons. So I did go on the hunt for oversized pistons, and I found them. And I got them coming. But they're 60 over. The biggest problem is finding rings, oversized rings for these pistons. And I couldn't find any. And then because if I could have got like 20 over, 30 over rings, the pistons can be turned down to whatever size you want, and then you just use the correct ring. If you want 20 over or 30 over, you turn the piston down to that. But these happen to be 60 over. But I found a set of 60 over rings. So I bought them, I got them coming. And so I think I'm gonna just have this bored out 60 over. Now, with that being said, is it overkill? Probably. But 60 over isn't gonna take that much meat off these cylinders. And this is a 1950 Brockway truck. So it's not like this is gonna go out on the road and pound up and down the road and wear it all out. This is gonna sit a lot probably. And take it to a parade or a truck show or something. If I live long enough to complete it, who the hell knows, right? We never know. So that's where I'm at with that, but I gotta get them ordered up. I gotta get this block cleaned up. And I am gonna check the valve guides and see, because I have some valve guides come, but I think they're just the exhaust guides. All right, so basically what we're gonna do, you know what? This is the cylinder that this come out of, and I don't think that valve guide needs replacing. And that's the valve that come out of there. I'm keeping these all separate. I'm gonna need some keepers though. Well, amazing. Yeah, very, very little there at all. Would that be 3? 1, 2, 3. If anything, that's got to be. That's not for there. Let me just take a look down in there. See if there's rust in there. No. There's some crap in there that should be cleaned out. So there's something you can spray in there and clean that out. And it's a pretty simple process to check these valve guides. No play at all. Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, really, when you stop and think about it, as old as this motor is, and so I think they're going to clean up fine. I got to get something down in here to clean that one hole out. I spend an awful lot of time walking around, don't I? I'm trying to this just to wash it out. to replace the guides. I'm amazed. Amazed if it wasn't for that bad spot in that cylinder. Oh, sorry, back it out. Let's see here. If it wasn't for that bad spot in the cylinder, I'd be cleaning this up and reassembling it. So I do have to send it out and get that board out because I'm just, and you know what? I could probably hone that and be good with it. I don't know. You'll never hone that out of there. I don't know what it is, but that's got to be. I guess to do it right, I mean, if I don't, it's gonna burn oil a little bit, and I guess to do it right, I should. Now I'm just wondering, do these studs have to come out of this block? That'll be an interesting thing to do, is get the studs out. But I may leave that up to the machine shop that's going to do it. See what if their equipment will cut that without removing the studs. That'd be the tricky part. If it is, that'd be great. But if not, then it's got to be done. I just don't know. I got other things I got to pull off the block. I got some lines here and stuff, and some piping that has to come off, and from where the oil filter was, and that. And but hey, they got them old hit and miss motors, you know, from the 30s and the 20s. They're running, you know. And I guess there's still some parts available for them, but their popularity, I mean, this is a truck engine. This is a 427 cubic inch truck engine. And a lot of the real popular Flatheads are in like cars and stuff. And like Willys Jeeps, there's 4 cylinders, and then there were 6 cylinders. And this was a heavy duty truck engine at the time, you know, a gas job. And actually this was small. It wasn't long after that. They had Flatheads in 55, I believe, for these. And I know they used them beyond that, but they did come out with an overhead valve in 50, I don't know, my dates, I'm not too good on, 56, 57-ish, something like that. They had Continental overhead with overhead valves, you know, up in the head. So it was a pushrod motor. And but the Flatheads, they were really a popular. I had a 55 Dodge pickup, and I wish I still had it. Had the rear windows were 3. Had the window in the center, and then 2 curved windows in each corner, in the back cab corners. That was a cool truck. That was a 6-cylinder Flathead. I don't know what it was. It ran, and but it had a cracked block, and the gas welded the block. Whoever had it years ago. And my father got it, and then he got another truck, and then he gave it to me. And I was young. I was, I don't know, 14, 15. And I learned how to drive the standard on that truck in my parents' backyard. I'd take off in first. It was a 3 on the tree, so a 3-speed on the column. No brakes. I'd take off in first, hit second, and as soon as I was in second, down into third, and then back up into second, and I'd be on what little bit of brake it had, not much. Pedal always went to the floor, and I'd roll to a stop before I got out on the road, and then I'd put it into reverse, and back up and do it all over again. And that's where I learned how to drive a standard. And the good old days, right? Not really. I'd rather have a modern vehicle than that old Dodge, but that old Dodge was cool. Had the pedal on the floor over top of the gas pedal that you push to engage the starter. It was 6 volt. You turn the key on to ignite, you know, to power up everything. And then you put your heel on the gas pedal and put your toe on the button and push it in to start it. And I don't know. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. I did find a place to get these clutches. These are kind of weird clutch. My pile of parts here. Take a look at this big coil spring that goes around here. But there is a clutch builder place that rebuilds these. So to be honest with you, I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. This doesn't look bad. That could be cleaned up on a lathe. I mean, just a nice finish put on it. It needs these little springs. So I may talk to them Let me turn the light around here. And I think I've showed this once before though. See that little spring right there? There's a little bar that goes through and the spring hooks over that. And then it hooks on the pressure plate. It's missing. Let's see, it's missing 2 springs. Right here, here's the spring. And it's broke. But I want to save that, make sure I save it because I want to get new springs for it. And but that pressure plate isn't bad. And all the fingers are good on there too, the spring fingers on that clutch. So if I can, I'm going to reuse that. I know the clutch disc is here somewhere. The other side of the flywheel is good. Again, that could be turned just to cleaned up. I could probably clean that up with a piece of sandpaper in my hand. What the hell did I do with the clutch disc? Oh, it's here somewhere. I know what it is. Man, where the hell's the disc? Ah, here it is over here. Now, I don't know if they get brittle when they get older. I don't know how old this one is. It's a reman, so gee. I mean, that don't look that bad to me. I could try and rebuilt by Raylock at some point, had a clutch put in it. So it looks like these are riveted on, so really they can redo that probably. But you gotta have the components and the riveter. I don't think you'd wanna really screw with that by hand. But yeah, I bet you that would outlast me. As long as I'd have the truck, the life of that truck, this clutch disc would probably outlive me. It ain't gonna pull any weight, you know? And I don't know. You guys that know, you know better than I do. Let's get into the light. To me, that looks like quite a bit of meat on there yet. It ain't like I'm gonna be hauling, like I say, it ain't gonna be like I'm hauling weight. It's just, so. I know I found, it's gotta be a chunk of the lifter that was broke. If not, it's a stone, but I think it's a chunk of the lifter that broke off. And went down into the pan. So I gotta do something with a water pump right there. I'm assuming, you know, the seals at least. I gotta get some numbers off it. And I gotta redo that carburetor. I may send that out. I may send that carburetor out. I may not try that myself. But so that's where I'm at. I'm kind of going easy this week because I had a little operation, and now you can see that in there. Yeah, see, so I'm gonna bore it. It's gonna be bored 60 over. Get some high dome pistons. No, not really. Some guys do hot rod these 6 cylinders, but I doubt they hot rod this. Like I say, this is kind of a truck engine. Just for the hell of it. And I know this isn't the way you're supposed to measure a ring end gap, but I just want to kind of get a rough idea. I put that ring down in the worst part of that cylinder where it's all scored up there and rusted, and I use these just to measure the end gap, which I could. I went down just far enough to catch it. It's down below the ridge, and believe it or not, it's well within specs. I can't believe it, but I'm going to spend the money. I already did. I got them coming on the pistons anyway. But I just thought that was something. I thought that was really something. I know you're supposed to use feel gauges. I went over and looked for them. I just couldn't find them right quick, but you know, I do a lot with these things, so unbelievable. It ain't even 0.010. .06 at the most. So, do I spend the money to have it bored out from that, or do I just try and hone it as best I can? Or maybe hone it even more, see if I can get that rust out of there. I don't think I can hone enough material away to do that. So I use kerosene maybe. Get the stones to burn it, but boy, that's asking them up. I don't know if I get the education of my life here. And now that ain't, it's taking a little out, but that other kind of hone wood, but they say don't use that. I don't know why. If you look at the piston that came out of that cylinder, you can see that there was some rust there. Stuck right down in the, you know. So what I'm going to do, try and pop that ring out of there. Ring. I don't see. 0.013 is the minimum clearance. You can have more, but you don't want less. And I don't know what the limit is there. I don't know if that's 4 rings that are rotted in and rusted in. Let's see. Can we get that down in there? How far? So that was rust. I'm still up in the air. I want to try and clean that out or not. Like I said, I've got a brand new set. Well, I say a new set, new old stock of TRW 60 over for this. And there's 2 designations for this motor. There's a B6427 and a T6427. I don't know what the difference is, but the piston, all the things for the pistons, bearings, everything is the same. The wrist pin diameter is the same on those two. Now, if you go to the 427 diesel, which there was, then it changes. That changes. Then the pistons are different, because I found a guy that had a set of those that were, I think he said they were 30 over. And all I'm doing is sitting here talking to you and not doing anything, so and that is going to get kind of boring for you. So those piston rings are going to be a biatch to get out of there. All right, I got one side of the ring lifted up, but the other one is solid in there, so just got to be careful. I broke the one ring, came out in pieces because it was so corroded in there. Letting the blaster work its way around. I don't know if you're talking about these. I'll have to go back and look at the post, or these. I just received my set of 040 pistons to have the engine bored, and but I want to go over here by the block. Lack of room. I got my camper in here because we had a big snowstorm and I didn't want it to be out in the weather. But so here's the bad part of this cylinder. So I went ahead and got some 060 pistons. I got 040 rings. Yeah, I know they don't fit, but you can have the pistons turned down, which is what I was going to do. However, all the other cylinders are good, and they'd be fine standard with standard rings and the pistons. Instead of boring them all, turning those pistons down and using that, I'm thinking maybe I should just have this bored out, have it sleeved, and then use the standard piston with the standard rings. I think that might be a little bit smarter. So what do you guys that work on these flatheads, you got any flathead mechanics out there, tell me what you think down in the comments below if you wouldn't mind. It'd be interesting to know. All right, I want to get the rest of this stuff pulled off this block because I want to get this degreased and So I just want to do a little video here so I know where everything goes. Where it came from and where all this stuff goes. Some of these are oil lines. I got to get that out of there. I want to get that bracket off there. And I don't think there's much of anything on the other side. No, there's nothing. There's a cover up there, and one here for where the fuel pump was, I believe. And so I want to get that out and then get this degreased. Forgot the key to my pickup, so I can't get my camper out of here, my truck camper. And so anyway, if you like the video, you know, hit the like and subscribe button. The like pushes it out to, you know, so other people see it. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, although you probably are. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hey, we'll catch you soon.